Hi and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Alison and this is my very first video on my Mounjaro journey. And I just want to welcome you here. I am type 2 diabetic and I am vegetarian, and I am very privileged because I have been prescribed Mounjaro by my GP. And I started on the Tuesday, the 30th of September 2025, and I am now on the day 7 of the last dose of my very first pen. And so I thought that I would put some of my thoughts down into a video and I can share it with you guys, but also it's going to be a place for me to come back and reflect on what has happened in my journey. So I really am hoping that they will continue to prescribe it for me because I've seen such a huge difference in 4 short weeks. So first of all, my blood sugar levels, and that's the main reason for me doing Mounjaro. My blood sugar levels were out of control and had been for a while. I was working with a dietitian, and it didn't matter how much or what I ate, my blood sugar levels were still out of control. So when I say out of control, my fasting reading was about 12, 12 and a half, and my post meal was anything between 10 and 12 and a half. So the NHS recommends that your fasting blood sugar should be, for type 2 diabetes, should be between 4 and 7, and for 2 hours post meal should be less than 8.5. So as you can see, mine was quite out of control there, and I needed to do something because the metformin was no longer working for me. So I took my first injection, the food noise went, and within a week my blood sugar levels started to come down. And so over the last 4 weeks, they have steadily decreased day on day on day. And now I am within the recommended amounts. So at morning time, my fasting blood sugar has been as low as 6.2, but is usually around the 7. So I understand that on the introductory dose of Mounjaro, it probably won't get much lower than that. So if I stay on 2.5, it will my blood sugar levels may still continue to stay at that level. And then my post meal sugars have been less than 8.5, and but again they're usually around the 6.8 to 7.5, which I think is really good, and I'm really, really pleased with those results. I feel a difference in myself. I don't feel so sluggish. I'm not so tired. I've stopped having to get up in the night to go to the toilet, which is like, I didn't actually realise that going to the toilet 3 times in the night is not normal and is a sign of your blood sugar levels being out of control. So so I'm really, really pleased with that. I don't personally feel like I look like I've lost weight. And I've always struggled with that image of, not even if I've lost weight in the past, I've not been able to see it in myself. So I fully understand that I can't see it. I have had a couple of people notice. A couple of people have said to me, "Oh, you look really, really well," or "Gosh, you've lost weight on your face." So that's really nice because I've only been on this drug for 4 weeks. But I have lost, according to my GP, I've lost 10 kilograms. But going by my home scales, I've lost nine and a half. So 9.5, 10 kilograms is a really good amount for me. It's an amazing amount. I don't think I've ever lost that much weight in a month. And I get that some of it will be water and some of it will be collagen. So I do understand that it's not all fat that's gone. But I definitely feel like my ring on my finger my wedding ring's a little bit looser. My clothes feel a bit baggier. And so I'm really, 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 really pleased and excited with that. And I'm looking forward to, hopefully, the next month. I believe I had a meeting on Friday with the diabetic clinic, and they said they're going to increase it to 5 milligrams. I have got some worries about that. I'm concerned of what I've watched, how people say that appetite gets even more suppressed. So I am concerned about that, but I am working with them and with my dietitian. Sorry, excuse me, I've got a very dry mouth, which is Mounjaro. Sorry. So yes, that side effects, so we're talking about it. Having a dry mouth, I think, is my biggest side effect that I've had from Mounjaro. I spend Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday hardly talking to anybody, but then for work, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I have to talk a lot, and so I do get a very dry mouth. That is the worst, but it kind of is fine because it helps encourage me to drink more, and I'm drinking about 2.5 liters of water a day, so yay for me. Um, the other side effect, I have occasionally had a headache. Maybe the second day after my injection, I get a bit of a headache. And again, the second day, sometimes I feel a little bit constipated. I don't feel like I could go to the toilet. In fact, one day, I think week 2, I felt a bit ugh, and I took fibre gel because I thought, oh, I don't like this experience. I'm not having that. But I have added in flaxseed, milled flaxseed to my diet. So that seems to help dramatically and is doing great work. So yeah, so with my dietitian, I am aiming to eat 1,800 calories a day, but I have really struggled to reach those 1,800 calories just because I just don't feel hungry and I'm having to remind myself to go and have food. I do know that notice, and looking at my fitness pal where I'm tracking what I'm eating, I do notice that on the seventh day, my calories are higher than they are on any other days. And I think that I do feel more hungry on day 7 than on any of the other days, but not to the extent that I feel like I want to go and eat rubbish and junk. And that's the other thing that I found really interesting about Mounjaro is I just have no desire to eat junk food. It's like it's brainwashed me into wanting only the healthy stuff. And not that there's anything wrong in having junk food. Don't get me wrong, I have been out and I have had a small slice of cake twice, and but it's taken me twice as long to eat it as it would have normally done. Normally, I would kind of inhale cake, but it has taken me a long time to eat this small portion. And but yeah, my portion size is just so small. And maybe that's one of the things that I've struggled with the most. I used to always eat really big portions. I would have fairly healthy food, but really big portions of it. And so I've kind of struggled as to know how much am I going to be able to eat because when am I going to feel full? And so I've kind of got into the habit of having a very small portion, knowing that if I'm still hungry at the end of it, I can go back and have some more, and that it's still within my calorie allowance and everything, and my macros. So that's not a problem. And I found that to be really beneficial. And I've kind of experimented. So as I say, I'm vegetarian. So one of the things that my dietitian wanted me to do was to build up to having 100 grams of protein. She was like, don't worry about it too much of getting to 120, but build up to 100 grams of protein and 35 grams of fiber. And so that has been quite difficult. And so eggs and Greek yogurt have become my best friend. But I find that if I try to have 3 boiled eggs or 3 eggs in a scramble or 3 eggs omelette, I can't eat it. It's too much. But two's fine, but I want that extra bit of protein. And likewise, with fibre, I mean, I'm eating a lot of vegetables. I mean, I've always eaten a lot of vegetables, and I always thought that I had a fairly high fibre diet. But I started to eat, as I say, milled flax seeds. And I've been kind of toying with chia. I've got some chia seeds. I'm not 100% sure if I like them or not, but I think I've probably just not given them a fair enough go, so I'm going to go back and try some of those as well. But on the whole, I'm really pleased with the way things are going, and I'm just really pleased with the way that I'm losing weight. I've lost, according to my GP, I've lost 10 kilograms in 4 weeks. I personally, on my personal scales, say that I've lost 9.5. And okay, so it's only half a kilogram. You're probably saying, what's the difference? But, it's just like, that's what I've been recording. So I'm going with a 9.5. But I'm pleased at the fact that the doctor thinks I've lost 10 kilograms. So, yeah, I'm really pleased with that. I know people are going to say, oh, what's that in pounds and everything. I think it's about 1 stone, and I think it's 1 stone and 4 pounds. That's 10 kilograms, or 9.5. So just roughly. And so if that's in pounds, there's 14 pounds in a stone. So that's 14 plus 4. So 18 pounds maybe, which is a lot of weight to lose. And I do understand a lot of it's water and collagen. I get all that. I know it's not always going to be this fast in losing weight. And but it is such a boost. It's such a boost to know that you're losing weight and I'm not struggling. I'm not going around feeling like I'm starving all the time, and that I'm not starving myself to death. That I'm actually able to sit down and have a proper meal. And yeah, so I'm really pleased at that. Yesterday, after a really busy weekend, I decided to have a really comfort food afternoon and snuggle up and watch a movie. And so I had some lentil soup because my protein and fibre, which I absolutely love. Love homemade lentil soup. So I had a massive bowl of lentil soup with a grilled cheese sandwich, which I made in the air fryer. And then I felt like I was really, really like pushing the boat out because I had bought some protein crisps, which had 10 grams of protein per pack. So I had a packet of those and I had two satsumas. And much to my surprise, it took me an hour and a half to eat all that food. And it was just a normal sized bowl of soup, but it took me an hour and a half to eat it all. And that's the other thing that I've really noticed is that if you stop eating and put your knife and fork down or your spoon or whatever and just sit for a bit and have a drink, then it's helping me to learn, oh, I feel quite full now. I could leave that. And I've given myself permission to be able to leave food because I think I was always brought up, I'm that generation where we don't waste food and so therefore you eat everything that's given to you. And I remember when I first started dating my husband, his approach to food is very different to mine. And he said to me, you know, you can send food back. You don't have to eat everything. And I was like, oh no, because I would eat everything on my plate. And then I would have panic attack and anxiety that he wasn't finishing his meal. I'd be like, why are you leaving food? You know, so he was like, you know, you can send it back. You don't have to eat it all. So I have had to give myself that permission that this is the new me, that I can leave food, and if I want I can wrap it up and put it in the fridge and have it the next day or later in the day, or maybe it just actually was I'm going to have to get rid of it because I'm not going to eat it. But I've certainly rethought the way that I do my grocery shopping, planning my meals, and I'm just very excited. So long may this continue. But yeah, so my biggest excitement is that my blood sugar levels have come down. I've got a little bit more energy. I'm able to walk a little bit further than I could before. And so I'm excited to see where this journey takes me. So if you are interested in following me along, please do hit the subscribe button, the like button. Please leave a comment down below. I'd really like to engage and interact with you. And then maybe we can come up with what my next video will be about, and I will do an update next week. So thanks so much for watching. Take care. If nobody's told you before, know that God loves you and that you are truly valued. Take care. Bye.